1, 2, 3, 4.
Where arts and culture summits the airwaves, this is the Nine Rails Arts Podcast. I am R. Brandon Long alongside Todd Oberndorfer, and we are the Banyan Collective, arts and adventure podcasting since 2010. This episode includes a free-flow evening of music and conversation with the members of The Proper Way, Shane Osguthorpe, Scott Rogers, and Carrie Myers. This episode is supported by the Union Creative Agency.
Union Creative Agency is a stakeholder-centered design agency focused on infusing creativity, culture, and strategy into communities and organizations. Union Creative Agency works collaboratively with clients, community partners, and stakeholders to understand needs, envision an ideal future, and build a pathway to success. We believe arts and culture are keys to catalyzing better communities, organizations, projects, and endeavors. With successful collaboration as our key driver, we work intimately with our clients, partnering organizations, and stakeholders to create projects designed for impact.
Union Creative Agency has a local influence.
Yes, they were responsible for the Ogden City Master Plan for the Arts and Culture, as well as the Master Plan for the Nine Rails Creative District. For more information about Union Creative Agency, reach out to unioncreativeagency.com.
Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. We gonna do what they say can be done. We got a long way to go, and it's short time to get there. Hey, I'm eastbound, just watch old bandit run.
Okay, so we went to the depths or the confines of the old post office for inside the...
An intimate studio session with The Proper Way.
Yes, and I had no idea what to expect. I don't think any of us had any idea what to expect. But it is a give and take, a little bit of interviewing us, a little bit of us asking them questions and getting to know them better, a bunch of messing around, kind of.
And then playing songs between it.
Yeah.
Or sometimes answering our questions in song.
In song.
Because they were all carrying instruments as well. Scott was behind his board doing what he does.
He doesn't leave his post.
This episode is quite different than the rest. You will find that out. It's a bit longer. I think if we did the full director's cut of this, it would also be about a 2-hour episode.
Yes.
We'll probably whittle it down to about an hour and 50 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. It'll probably be a little less than that. Because I don't want to lose any of this. Yeah. But at the same point, we were in there for quite some time.
There's some adult language, just so a heads up on that. You know, it's
yes.
Going into it, we're drinking, having a good time.
Yes, so, we were having a really good time. A special cameo.
A cameo from our do you call it in-house photographer? Cam McLeod.
Our good friend, Cam McLeod, and his wife, Kelly. I don't know if we hear her. We may have at some point or another. A lot of really, really good content on this. I think you're going to find out a lot about us and about them and about projects that we're all working on. And then just some nonsense, right? Clearly, you've had nights like this. And you've wished that they were mic'd.
Yes.
And we were able to do that.
Really, we just want you all in there with us next time.
And hopefully you'll get that vibe when you listen to this. And if you love it, let us know. If you're not crazy about it, we had a really good time. And we'll probably be a little bit more focused in future episodes. But I think it's also good to have a good time. And we had so much fun that night.
So this is our evening, if you will, with The Proper Way, our studio visit.
There's no intermission in this, and so you might check the full length of the episode and just find that little bathroom break right in the middle. So.
That's it. Yep.
What are we starting with?
Song we just played. Carrie and I worked that harmony bit out.
Sort of.
Do us a favor and introduce who y'all are.
We are the house band for the Banyan Collective, and we're The Proper Way from here in Ogden. We were driving to a gig 2 days ago.
Yep.
We listened to this song on the stereo, and instantly we all started breaking into this 3-part harmony.
Driving through Ogden Canyon.
Yeah, in Ogden Canyon, we just found this magical 3-part harmony, which we'll never be able to reproduce today, but it was awesome.
I'm going to fight you, Carrie.
I've got it recorded on my phone, but here we go.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Up above my head,
Up above my head,
I hear music everywhere.
I hear music everywhere.
Up above my head,
Up above my head,
I hear music everywhere.
I hear music everywhere.
Up above my head,
I hear music everywhere.
I really do believe there's a joy somewhere. And all in this room,
All in this room,
I hear singing everywhere.
I hear singing everywhere.
All in this room,
All in this room,
I hear singing everywhere.
I hear singing everywhere.
All in this room,
I hear singing everywhere. I really do believe there's a joy somewhere.
Up above my head,
Up above my head,
hear music
I
everywhere.
hear music everywhere.
Up above my head,
Up above my head,
I hear music everywhere.
I hear music everywhere.
Up above my
Head, I hear music everywhere. I really do believe there's a joy somewhere.
I looked at you. You weren't doing anything. So we're going to call that the end of that
I
song.
think that's how that song's going to end today.
Did you guys send some sort of message between the three of you?
We are actually very good at reading one another.
Quick look.
It's
I can tell if he's going to do something, or
Yeah, and Shane
you
and
can
I-
feel if she's going to do something, but you can. I have to look at him.
But we're all like, this is one of the things that I mean, that's one thing about playing with other people that people don't understand is that Shane and I need to be able to look at one another and send a message like the song is ending, or we're doing that one thing, or I'm taking an extra 4 bars, or I'm doing whatever. And Shane and I have always been able to just like one quick look, and it's just, you know, sometimes that look is, I can't believe you just did that.
Yeah.
The song is not over yet,
Right.
which happened.
yeah.
And Carrie, and we're really good with Carrie too. Like, you know, so Carrie's
Carrie,
really
you
good.
just feel like when we play with Carrie, my eyes are closed. Probably
Carrie,
95%
you
of the
can just
time.
feel.
I just
You
feel
can just feel
Carrie
Carrie.
singing.
Please don't just feel me.
You feel me?
That was not an invitation.
No, but with Carrie, all music is a conversation between the musicians,
Yeah.
right? And early on in garage bands, it's like it's young kids going, "That's an E, hit the E," you know. And then slowly that conversation becomes kind of a gentle, like, "Dude, we're switching to the E here," you know. And then ultimately becomes what we have now. You just look and you're like, I know where you're going. You're like, we're looking. Are we in the same headspace?
Yeah.
It's like I'm at that point. I'm not even looking at his hands.
Yeah.
I'm looking at his
No,
eyes.
you're looking people dead in the eye.
Yeah, you're like, I'm looking at his eye going, oh, he's going to that same thing we did in Tahoe that one time.
Right, exactly.
And then and we both go right there, and it's something we've only done one other time, but you can just look in his eye and go, oh, he's doing the Tahoe thing right now, because we're in the same zone
Yeah,
right
and
now.
Carrie's
so.
integrated into this really well because like she's really good about making eye contact too. So like if a song is ending, like she'll make sure I've played with other people who just like they just stop playing. There's no indication that the song is over.
There's no communication.
There's no communication, but Carrie's integrated into this really well. That's we talked about this before in other podcasts. It's one of the things that's been nice about this three of us is that we just kind of work well together. Like it's just kind of easy.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say thank you for the invitation, but I invited myself.
We'll never turn down one of those.
But thanks for the beer and the whiskey.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, try some more of that whiskey, man.
And the space and the company.
I think I might have to have some of that whiskey.
Like I said, where do you think music comes from?
PBR.
Right
PBR
here.
and
The single malt?
and
Or,
a choice between Evan Williams Single Barrel and Woodford Reserve, or a nice Malbec.
This is where Willie Nelson got the line, "The life I love is making music with my friends." I was hanging out in a space like this with the Banyan Collective boys and Cam McLeod and Kelly's over here, and this is making music with our friends, and that's the life I love. So I love that line of Willie Nelson's. So.
And see, and I couldn't think of a better person. So I this is for the Nine Rails Arts podcast, and so I wanted to do an episode where we focused a little bit more on getting to know us, the Banyan Collective, and so we could just talk about ourselves.
You know, you guys got to have hours of tape to get Todd's stories. Because every time I sit down with Todd, I discover this whole other life he's led.
Yep.
And you're like Jack London. You've done everything that's out there. I'm like, oh yeah, you're the arts coordinator. Well, I'm on the arts committee and we can talk arts. I get 9 rails and arts. Then he's like, well, and then that one time when I took that maiden voyage of the cruise ship from the Atlantic across, and then when we took its maiden voyage down through the, I'm like, wait, you did what?
You're like, for instance.
And then you're like, oh yeah, and then that time I was living on Catalina. I'm like, wait, I thought you were a. So every time I sit with you, I get more stories. So we're going to have a lot of tape to capture all of Todd Oberndorfer's stories, that's for sure.
Well, maybe we'll get a little more glimpse of that side today. Thank you so much for that song. Was that your song? See, that's a song
we just
where I
wrote
don't...
Yeah, just read it. It's a Sister Rosetta Tharpe
I'm not a
song.
church goer, but I would go to that church.
I'd go to that
I would
church.
go to
Yeah.
that church.
We're at church right now, yeah.
You know what's funny is that I went to that church, and that's not how they sang.
How they sing.
Oh man, Stick Up the Butt Baptist, North Mississippi, man. But then I'll hear like people sing the same songs the hymns that I sang in church when I was a little kid. They don't sound like I'm just like, why didn't I go to that church? Like,
I like the way you do it.
we had the same hymnal, but man, the ones that we sang sucked.
So since we're talking 9 rails and arts, how's Arts in the Parks going this year?
All right, so I'm finishing up Arts in the Parks. I'm in week 5. This is our 10th year, so I don't know if you guys know that.
Congratulations.
10 years of that.
Yeah, so that started in 2010, and so this is the 10th year working that. A woman named Catherine McKay. Y'all know her as a colleague, I'm sure. So she started that on the heels of Adam's Science in the Park. So that got a head start about 2 years.
I just passed that one passed that one the other day just driving up the road.
Another musician.
They were setting up.
We had him in the van not too long ago. And
Really?
so, yeah.
Yeah.
So what's his band's name?
What are you talking about?
Standards and substandards.
Adams. Standards of Substance.
Oh, he's in standards.
Oh, I didn't know
They
that.
recorded right in this studio.
Yeah, he's the piano player. Yeah, we did their demo.
As I said, and I took a jab at Scott.
I thought that jab was great. I'm like, no, why?
I hope he sees the humor in this.
I thought it was great. There's this moment
safe
in the
crowd.
there's this moment in the podcast where Adam is like, yeah, so we recorded this with Scott Rogers, and Brandon goes, I'm sorry. it was just like this really subtle, and I was just like, I thought that was hilarious. Nobody, and Adam just plowed on through. Like,
Yeah, he
I was
didn't
just,
pause, yeah.
I was just like, oh man,
They're an
you should-
amazing band.
Gotta take a beat there.
She can sing. That was great. That was
All of
fun.
them can play the hell out of their instruments. And I was just down here that day they recorded running cable like dumb muscle in the studio.
Yeah.
And I stayed to listen to them sound check to make sure I didn't have to pull anything else because there was no space for them in here with all of us. So I'm like, I waited and I listened to one song. I'm like, holy crap, those guys are good. They were so tight.
And Tim, the bass player, like I've worked with Tim forever, like 13 years. I had no idea he even played bass.
They play in the 9 rails all the time, right? Don't they play a lot at Cuppa?
They play
Yeah,
a couple.
they
Yeah.
They play a
all
couple
the
of
time.
probably
They're ready to make it onto
warmer
the-
than it was. We did a van sessions with them, and it was
It was cold.
So cold.
Yeah. So if you want to hear that podcast, just search Van Sessions on iTunes or Spotify.
Standards and substandards.
Standards and substandards.
They're just about ready to break onto the pro gig
circuit.
in Ogden.
What's the pro gig circuit?
Okay.
Take us through the pro gig circuit.
Shane, do you want to? Should I tell the story?
You can start
All
it.
right,
I'm sure
so-
I'll interject at some
So
point.
we were on the road in California. What, last year?
2 years ago.
Who does
2
the
years
driving? I was going to ask this.
No, it was a year
I drive
ago.
everywhere.
It was 1 year
You
ago.
drive?
About a
Okay.
year
Yeah, it was
ago.
last- it was last summer.
A year ago, June.
Yeah. So we were out in Tahoe, and we roll into Tahoe, go to this beer fest, hook up with our friends, and then we play a gig at this restaurant.
This sounds shitty.
And it was terrible. It was so
Right on the
terrible.
lake.
Right on the lake.
Yeah.
It was so terrible. We played at Riva
We
Grill.
had about 150 people dancing in
Oh,
this
my
restaurant.
ears rang for 3 days
of how loud
because
the
of
crowd
how
was
loud
singing.
the crowd was singing. And it was great. My buddy Ike sat in with us. It was awesome. And we roll back down the hill. Like my truck is throwing like a check engine light. Like while we're doing, I'm super stressful. And we get down, and it's like 2:00 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting around Ike's table in his dining room, and he goes, "Hey, are you guys following Riggs of Dad?" And we're like, "No." And he just grabs Shane's phone and opens it up and is like, pulls up the Instagram, and he just plops it down in the middle of the table and is like, "You're welcome."
And I didn't sleep
We
for 5
spent
more
the
hours.
next 4 days reading Riggs of Dad posts out loud to one another. Like, I found this amazing one, and one of them is whatever the joke was I just made.
Pro circuit.
Yeah, the pro circuit.
Semi-gig.
One of their most recent ones
pro
was,
gig
was
circuit.
like there's a band in this. The whole premise of Riggs of Dad is that the guys invented this fictional Pudgemont County, which we think is like Illinois,
Weber
or
County.
Indiana, Ohio, somewhere
Weber
around there.
County.
And it's just pictures. It's just pictures of dudes like us, like rocking out, you know, and he's
Taking
like,
themselves way too
yeah,
seriously.
taking themselves way too seriously. And he's invented all these venues and all of these bands, and
He
all
tells
these,
a story,
and tells,
man.
and
It's
tells these
awesome.
amazing stories. And
So are they real pictures but made up stories?
They're real pictures,
Okay.
and like I want them to do us so.
Yeah,
bad.
we keep
I want
trying
them
to
do
get them to pick one of our
Oh
photos
my
up, but they
god!
haven't
I
done
want
it
them to
yet.
do us so freaking bad.
You want him to do you so
I want
So
yes,
that's-
yes,
you
Carrie
repeated
Myers.
it. Yeah.
From that one
twice.
night they
But
knew.
like,
Did we mention Carrie Myers is here yet?
Hello.
But so,
there's your
but
reminder.
he'll do things like the one band will be like, they're gonna be at this one restaurant every third Thursday between July and August.
Which means they got a 2 month, two gigs. Yeah.
And then, but it'd be like
that
see in the
sounds so much
like
better
see
than-
in the pit. But like one band was like they played this one job and it was like they're about ready to make it on the pro gig circuit.
Yeah.
But he'll say
So you can edit all of that part out.
yeah,
That's
they'll say things like like one band was really crushing it on the Pudgemont County touring circuit. They had 3 gigs in April. So that's like, it's so, if you hang out with musicians or no musicians, it is so funny. Anyway, that was a really long.
So wait, that's our cut point. Todd,
Yeah.
you're in the 10th year of Arts in the Parks.
10th year of Arts in the Parks,
You
yeah.
followed Science in the Parks, which started how much earlier?
So that started about 2 or 3 years earlier. So that's
10 years. How
probably
many
the
parks?
12
How many
and
weeks
13.
this run?
All right, so we do 6 parks a week apiece. So we are finishing up our 5th week. I'm over at 4th Street Park, which is a nice park.
It is.
Every park I go to, I'm like, this is a nice park.
Yeah, I didn't know it was this nice over
Like,
here.
this is a
Yeah.
nice park.
Ogden City does a good job with the parks.
I didn't mention, I probably shouldn't mention this for any of the kids' parents, but at 4th Street Park, in the corner of the park last year
Oh, God,
was
Remember
public
this story.
lovemaking.
Oh,
but
no.
and it was pretty clear, but it was just out of view enough. If we kept the kids occupied
This
enough.
was unsanctioned public
So-
lovemaking, correct?
They were a day
it
late.
was
They were
unsanctioned afternoon public.
so they were a
Okay.
day late
Lovemaking
for
in the
Science
park,
in
yeah.
the Parks. They were one of the exhibits at Science in the Parks that just never left.
Damn you, that's brilliant. I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Were they trying to be sneaky?
No, they weren't sneaky.
They were just
No.
going
They-
at it.
I think that they thought they were just a little bit further out of the way than they are, but
Todd had to keep saying, over here, kids. Oh, this way. Eyes over here.
Makes for some good art, though.
Wow.
yeah, and that's what I was going for. Clearly, yeah. So my target age group is like from
We're gonna go
3 to
paint some
12.
nudes. Come on, kids. We're painting nudes today. Follow me.
Action nudes.
Study.
Wow.
To get off that subject, how's the turnout been so far this year?
Turnout has been up just a little bit from last year, and the numbers are
Like, how many kids show up on an average at an average park?
Okay, so about 125 ish.
And what kind of art projects are you doing with them?
So we follow. I'm going to go back just a half step. So we follow in the heels of Ogden School District's their sack lunch program, and so that's where the connection really started.
Okay.
And so the neighborhood kids can come get some free.
Come for the lunch, stay for the art.
Exactly, yeah. And so the audience was already coming.
That's what the T-shirt says.
Come for the lunch, stay for the art.
And don't look in the corner of the park, kids.
And avoid the corner of the park. Avoid all the fence lines, please.
Don't let your eyes wander.
Don't go into shady places.
And so I kind of hire accordingly. I rely on volunteers, and then I have a core group of about
Mostly
7 or
students?
8.
Is it students?
I have some students. To tell you the truth, a big group of my core is Olivia Chaburka, so Matt Chaburka's daughter, and about 4 of her friends. So it is increasingly sort of, it's her squad, but she knows that I'm in charge, but more or less she's running things.
She's like the Pepsi posse for the arts.
It kind of turned into that.
Just kind of shows up and does the heavy lifting and helps out everywhere they can. So tell me what kind of projects they're doing.
That's what I was about to ask. What
Okay,
kind of
so-
art are we talking about here?
So each day has a theme, and so Monday, so today was sort of puppets theater type day, and so the kids make paper hats and then sort of like a paper costume type thing. A lot of creativity.
Do they write the show?
They do kind of write the show.
They kind of shape how the show's going to go and make the
I
right
think
characters and everything?
Sometimes the fewer the restrictions, the better.
And then they perform the show?
Nope. But they are able to take home what they make.
Oh, that's cool.
kind of the
That's
biggest
really
That's
cool.
way cool.
And then tomorrow, we tried something new this year, and we teamed up with Weber State's Ballet Folklorico.
Oh, awesome.
Do you know them?
Yeah.
And so they're bringing up 5 or 6 of their girls to do some traditional dancing with
Nice.
these skirts, and the kids get to try on these skirts and do some of these.
And
moves
we
things.
learned, because we went to one of their live performances, what the skirts, the colors in the skirts represent. Do you guys know?
No.
You know how they're really colorful, the flowy dresses that they wear and they hold on, and it represents the state of or county, whatever you call them in Mexico, of where they're from.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
wow. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a tartan then.
It's exactly like a tartan.
Yeah.
It's exactly, no, that's a good comparison right there.
Speaking of crazy outdoor Mexico stuff, let's throw a shout out to the Ogden Outdoor Adventure Show for the Banyan Collective while we're at it. Did you see the 3 feet of hail that fell in Guadalajara, Mexico yesterday?
I was like,
Yeah, did you
That's
read
going to be on Ogden Outdoor
why
Adventure.
Why
I
it
assume.
fell? Because I don't know why it fell. Like, what kind of
No.
I think it's
wrath
something
of
with
nature that
angry
happened?
gods. Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
Well,
Anyway,
as
that
one
was just a
particular
quick
town.
shout out to make sure people know about the Ogden Adventure Show, which I'm sure you're going to cover that topic.
No,
in depth.
so what I posted today was the story of they had to airlift a bunch of goats out of Olympia National
God, I
Park
saw
they're
that
attracted to human urine.
because it's
Aggressive.
like cocaine, that they are aggressive goats going after human urine.
It's like your stairwell. It's like your stairwell.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
There's 2 goats at the bottom
Straight
of
up
your
a
stairwell.
hellying. So
We're gonna
lady-
come down. There's gonna be a goat smoking meth.
But we're not in the Nine Rails Creative District though.
thing
We're in the
that- the
dodgy
thing that
part
got
of
me
town.
about, like,
the Creative District's all swanky, but we're still in the dodgy part of town making gritty music.
That whole
We'll have you
Guadalajara
in the Nine Rails at
hailstorm
Save
thing.
Point.
Yeah.
My college roommate lived in Guadalajara for a little while, and like I have to remind myself that like that town is way high up.
yeah.
Like it's a mile up. You know.
What's a mile? Is that
It's like
8,000?
It's like
Denver.
It's like
That's where
5,100
as high as
feet
Denver.
up.
Yeah.
And so like like the idea that it would hail in the middle of the summer a mile up, not
unusual,
not
but,
that.
but like 3 feet.
No, yeah. No, don't get me wrong.
Not like burying cars.
As all of my physicist friends will confirm, like we broke the planet.
Yeah,
like it's like something's clearly not right, but it's a mile up. I mean, like,
Wait, can we glue that shit back together or
yeah.
what? Like,
Do not talk to Adam Johnson about whether or not we broke the planet because it's depressing.
We'll start trucking all that ice back to Alaska.
Yes.
Make a lot of jobs for truckers.
I think that would be all right. But the numbers will probably hit about 3,400 in 6 weeks.
Total.
Yep.
And it sounds like a little bit of theater and production stuff. It sounds
Yep.
like
we'll have Deja out and
performance
does a
with
drum
dance.
circle. Yep, Deja
So
comes
music
out with her group.
okay.
Do you guys do like sit alone and be depressed and write really sad poetry? Is there that kind of art that happens there? As a
these
as
are
a-
kids.
Says the
These are
cynic
kids,
professor.
Scott.
As a
Yeah.
literature person, like I'm concerned. I have a stake in what kind of art gets produced here.
All right, all you kids who are going to be poets, go over and watch those people in the corner until you're sufficiently depressed,
Exactly.
or anxiety ridden,
That's
and
what
then
I'm
start
talking
writing.
about.
some
Well,
stuff
little
down.
Sarah's been staring at the tree bark for quite some time now. I think she's got literature in her
Thursday's
future.
Emo day is Thursday.
Yeah, that's what we need. Is I need to know if there's an emo day. That's what I need.
So what?
there
So,
isn't yet.
so what we're saying is this isn't like a kid making a turkey drawing with his handprint and
I like to think
gluing
it's a
some
step
feathers.
above that.
You're a step above that. It's like it's not just
It's
keep the kids
two
busy.
turkey
It's actually
handprints.
showing them art and how it works,
Exactly.
how to create art.
In fact, we
Well,
have
God
some-
bless you, Todd.
Oh, thank you so much.
Shut up, Carrie Myers.
It keeps me busy for about 6 weeks.
Sorry, Carrie Myers just made a really funny joke there.
Should we play it back?
Yeah, well, Todd.
She's way too
Scott,
far away
Scott
from the
used to
mic
always
or
make
whatever.
that little Thanksgiving handprint thing with his left hand.
It was just always just sad.
It was like
I forget. I always forget.
It was a turkey egg with some lumps on it.
Oh, it's the saddest turkey
Listen,
ever.
listen,
super
little Scotty.
So what? So what?
You
Carrie,
need
what
bigger
Carrie said-
feathers.
Because
on
how's
there.
he supposed to draw his handprint with that hand? He's like, well, I've only got one hand that can hold a pen.
So I was going two turkey handprints, and Carrie just very quietly goes, "You jealous?"
He can only make one handprint. He can only sketch one handprint.
Oh, God.
Because the one hand has to hold the pen, which leaves one hand to draw.
I have to admit, one time in grade school, I tried it with my mouth. So, like, just holding. Just like,
with your good hand, though.
no, yeah. And it was terrible.
That was an awful turkey, too.
It was a bad turkey. Yeah.
But it is a good way to get the ladies.
Have you ever read that? What's his name? Dave Foster Wallace. Brief interviews with hideous men.
I don't know.
He's got this one story about this guy that's got a flipper arm. He's like a what was that drug from the 60s that
I
produced
feel like I should ask you.
that produced all those deformed children. Oh crap! They gave it for like morning sickness to parents, and it produced thalidomide. And he's a thalidomide baby, and he's got this flipper arm. And the whole interview is him just like, "Oh yeah, man. Sometimes I put like Vaseline on it. Like he's like, I get more tail than a toilet seat. Like it's just like, it's such a funny.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
So,
well, we can check
that was
that
in the
off.
that was in the New Yorker.
There's another cut point. Chapter 2.
I like that the beer opening is our cut point noise. So when you hear that,
I'm just happy to keep talking about totally inappropriate things.
rewind 30 seconds and then cut all that shit out.
So Children in the parks.
That's so wrong.
Nicely executed. You're made of spare parts, bud.
You are not welcome. Yeah. How many feet do you have to keep away from the parks? What's it say?
It's problematic because I live around the corner from Mount Ogden Park.
Mount Ogden, that's good turnout.
That's like your second house. You're always up there running.
Yeah, that's where I live.
Yeah.
That was a good turnout at Mount Ogden.
Yeah, I
we
drove
were
by
there
it.
last week. We were up there. Yeah.
And so you get like all over the city, clear out north. What's the farthest north you go? 4th Street?
4th Street, and then we'll be in West. What's that one called? West Ogden Park.
Oh, out on the other side of the tracks over there. That's
That
a
one
cool
probably
little
gets the
neighborhood.
lower numbers, but that's the audience that I'm going for.
Oh yeah.
Is more neighborhood kids. What's happening is, and it's fine, but more and more daycare centers are dropping off their kids.
Yeah.
Just massive.
Here,
amounts
you
of
handle them for an hour.
which is great. It's a free summer activity, but at the
Right.
same time, as many of the neighborhood kids I can get, that's what I'm going for.
You know, I was having a conversation with a musician friend a couple of years ago, and they were saying West Ogden is going to be the new arts community in Ogden. And this was before Nine Rails even came along. He was predicting West Ogden would be it because it's the last affordable housing. Well, I mean, granted, most of Ogden's pretty affordable, but compared, that's where you can get an affordable house. That's where, they're getting arts in the parks.
And the artists are the bravest to live in areas that you wouldn't.
Yeah, of course, because that's what they can afford to live
Yeah,
in.
because they're poor.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
confirm.
Support the arts.
Can confirm.
Part of me's like, yeah, I'm raising my hand on that one as well.
Yeah, I know a bunch of people who are like looking at houses in like Kentucky.
Yeah.
Like just musicians who are just looking to start little communities.
But look what happened to East Nashville. That's what happened. It was a bunch of dirty musicians going into the cheapest part of town, and that's where like the biggest Nashville scene is blowing up now. Is because that's where all the legit musicians are.
And that's why the city of Nashville is like put the kibosh on all
Cracking down on home
on
recording.
home
yeah.
recording studios. So like this would not be possible.
You can't. No way.
Yeah.
How do you even monitor that? That's a bunch
Well,
of crap.
it's about people.
You
putting up-
monitor it with monitors.
It's about people putting up a
that's what I'm
shingle
thinking,
and saying like, "Hey, we're running a recording studio out of my house, and we're going to be recording loud bands at like 3:00 in the morning." And so like these old bedroom communities are just like, "Wait, what? Why are you doing?" But the problem is that how much
It's
of
like
Nashville
all the
is-
high school bands, though.
It's not just the high school bands; it's most of the records that you're hearing these
Yeah,
days.
you can't afford to go to the
They
big
can't.
studio.
Nobody's got the budget for the big studios anymore, so they're
Yeah.
going to places like this.
You got to rent a cabin in the woods now.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
we might have landed the Banyan Collective into this studio now. It sounds like they might come back and record.
What
here.
I want to
You
try
know-
to do is to split our time between once we get set up in the Monarch and here. So we kind of split it 50-50.
Then we can
I
actually
think you're
be-
going to like our spot as
Then
well.
we can be a legit house band. We could actually be
Yes,
there for the
yes.
show. You can
would
throw
be-
it to us for commercial while we play a little ditty and then throw it back to you. Yeah.
Kind of. That's my
Yeah.
idea.
Because
yeah.
right now we've just been giving you pre-recorded stuff that you just plug into the podcast.
Good stuff, though.
Oh, it's all good.
Absolutely appreciative of that. But I think the live, well, we should be able to do more live shows. That's the idea.
That'll be
at
fun.
least. Yeah.
It just occurred to me they've never heard our Gilligan's Island.
No,
Until now.
until now.
Sure, yeah.
I'm ready.
What are you at?
Carrie.
F, right?
No,
Are
it's
you
an
bored? Look at her. She's like,
Chilling. Chilling hard.
Okay, I'm ready. I used to love Gilligan's Island.
Well, how's it start? I'm lost.
We'll sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this traffic port aboard this tiny ship.
Skipper was a mighty man, super
Brave and sure,
passengers set sail that day for 3-hour tour.
a 3-hour tour.
The weather started getting rough, the tiny ship was tossed. If not for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost.
The minnow would be lost.
The ship set down on the shores of this uncharted desert isle, with Gilligan,
The skipper too, the millionaire and his wife, the movie star, the professor and Mary Ann, here on Gilligan's Island.
Carrie sitting there going, "What
With the
are
banjo.
you doing?
Stop,
What are you
old
people-
man.
she almost doesn't want to.
Carrie's going, what's Gilligan's Island?
I actually watched that a lot as a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to the show, Carrie Myers.
Hi.
How you been?
Pretty good. I've got nothing to say so
I heard you just
far.
wrapped up your latest album.
It's done.
Except for
With
what?
no name.
It's got no name.
It's got
No
no name.
artwork.
Art's not done.
Well, we originally there was
Cam,
a
are
name.
are you sitting on any wires or anything? Because every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
It's this wire right here.
It's
My
that
guy's
one.
like,
Yeah. Yeah, much better.
Oh, that
Now
sounds
you're
much
cleared
better.
out.
Yeah, so originally Carrie wanted to call it Let Me Down. Carrie Myers Let Me Down. And then have Easy.
It's so depressing,
the-
though.
It's very true.
It's funny.
Carrie Myers let me
I
down.
mean, it's a really funny record title. But then we just start, like, it just became like just Carrie Myers. And
Yeah.
now, but then what is it we came up with the other day?
It's,
Oh.
it's okay.
It's okay.
right?
It's fine.
It's fine,
Right?
right?
Fine, right? So like Carrie Myers.
Wasn't that the slogan
It's
for
fine.
Weber State? For
Carrie,
Right?
Carrie Myers will drop a $3,000 mandolin down a flight of stairs and turn around and look at Scott and go, "It's fine, right?"
Yeah.
You know,
My-
or like she'll like
Oh,
open the
shit.
door while Scott's backing out of a gig and like the door will break off Scott's truck and she'll go, "It's fine, right?"
This is like I told her the other day, one of my fondest memories of Carrie. She and I were loading out at Harp and Hound one night, or Funk and Dive or somewhere. And we're going down that hallway towards the back where you park. And she's for whatever reason, she's got all my stuff. So she has my guitar and my banjo and my mandolin. And she's just walking down, and they just all start to fall off of her. Like everything has straps, but like, and she's just
At least they don't mean anything to you.
Like everything is falling to the ground, and she's just like, she doesn't even know I'm there, and she's just sitting there in the hallway, like with thousands of dollars in instruments falling to the ground, and she's going, "It's fine, everything's fine, it's fine, everything's fine."
It's fucking fine.
And it was about 2 degrees outside, and she walked up to me and said, "Why don't dresses have pants?"
Wow.
Legs were cold.
This is what it is to play music with Carrie Myers. Is these are the conversations you have.
You just blurt out
As she
brain
kicks your
farts.
instrument down the stairs and,
And then-
says it's fine.
And then you're really like, why don't dresses have
yeah,
pants?
and you're
Right.
like, yeah. Why don't
Right.
dresses have
Who
pants?
designed this?
Right.
Why don't
I
dresses
feel
have
like
pants?
somebody did though. Wouldn't it just be called something else?
I think
Pant-
it's what
at least
ladies
all
are wearing
pants.
nowadays with skirts and
Wouldn't they-
leggings,
wouldn't
It
right?
they
was a
be
romper.
pants?
That's
No, rompers
that's
are weird, man.
You're weird.
Yes, the rompers are weird. There was
Why?
somebody.
Because you have to get all the way naked to pee.
Yeah, like if you just have to go pee, you have to completely strip naked.
It's kind of fun. It's thrilling.
just like like it's just bizarre, right?
Oh, we
Dude rompers
check
are a
that
whole
off
other
as well.
story.
Dude
though.
rompers needs to happen, man. Dude rompers with no pockets.
there's
It's
a
just
name
like,
for it.
or
That's-
just like terrible pockets.
Yeah, those are happening on the coast, obviously. The shorts
In
version
LA.
of male
In
rompers.
LA.
Yeah, what are they calling them?
L.A.
In L.A.
L.A.
LA.
Best hikes. And
We're making
tacos.
more Letterkenny jokes here.
Who has to edit this into a cohesive piece?
Yours truly.
I want to watch that.
Yeah, okay.
I want to watch you try to edit this into something cohesive.
Do you have a free 4 hours for a 1 hour podcast?
I think
It's about how long it takes.
I think we'll make it work. I think it's just going to be. It should be just really abrupt cuts. Just like
when you can tell we start to
Don't
go
to
off
be
track,
seen.
it just cuts off.
I don't want to try to find a seamless
We
thing.
need,
I just
you know
want
what
to
we need
just
to
cuts
make?
off.
We need to make a music interlude. It's like a little 3-bar. Da, 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 da,
Da, da.
Yeah, something like that. So that like when you
Between
can tell we're
everyone.
going off track, you just all of a sudden it cuts to this little banjo guitar.
Okay, let's go ahead and do
Okay,
one
yeah.
of those
All
now.
right, we'll be quiet for a second.
What are we doing?
I don't know, some kind of little.
do
lick.
that again, only
A cut
we'll be
point
quiet.
lick.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
That's
like,
all
right.
we
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
got?
Just like 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wait, no,
I
no,
put
no,
one extra on the front.
1,
Try again.
2, 3, 4.
See, you put
You
the
guys
extra one on that
suck.
I didn't. 1,
Sure.
2, 3, 4. I'm with Carrie.
Is that all it is?
That's it.
Okay, there it is. All
No,
right,
that's it.
go.
One,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Let me hit the
All
chord.
right, yeah,
Let me hit the
yeah,
chord.
he missed it. He missed it.
Fine.
God damn.
1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's a D.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's it.
Done.
Done.
I feel we're going to use a few of those probably.
You know what you need? You know what you need is that what was it? What was the cut they used to do in Hee Haw? It was always
Something
like
like
two
that.
dudes, something like that, right? It's like two dudes who go Tar Nation, and then they just
Swing the camera. Yeah.
Benny Hill used to do that too.
yeah.
Just all those short little snippets. Yeah. Have you done that on the banjo yet?
No, that
Oh.
song's actually fairly complicated.
Well,
I'm not that.
We
good.
only play the easy stuff.
I'm not that good.
I like the preface right there. That one's actually kind of hard to do.
You actually gotta be able to play to do that.
He's like, I have limits.
Two
My,
hands.
my sister's
You
trying
can't
to,
just fake your way through that one.
my sister's trying to learn the mandolin. She asked me for the how to play that old school freight train version of Heart of Glass, and so I was like, okay, I'll learn it real quick. And I'm making her a video of how to play it. And I'm like, this is not an easy song. Like this is not an easy song. Even that's not for me. Like it's just put this on the shelf and come back to it.
Do you get back to the shelf on those songs, or you just forget about them like that? All your gear here in the corner is broken.
I think like
We forget about them.
in terms of musicians.
I will say
like,
we forget about them because every time we're on the road to a gig, Scott and I will be listening to music, and he'll go, "Why don't we play this?"
Yeah, we have a giant list.
And I like put it on the list, and then another song will come on. I'm like, why don't we play this? I'm like, oh yeah, we'll do it. You know.
But I mean, there's also songs like
And then we forget it.
There's songs that I never thought I would be able to play, like when I was coming up, that I play now, and I'm just like, oh wow, I guess that song's not as hard as I thought it was. I mean, it was hard, like Ramble On or something like that. I was like, I'll never be able to figure that song out. But
How's your taste in music changed? The deeper you get in it personally. What you like to listen to, even
yeah,
more
it's
than
really
what you
funny.
like to play?
It's like when I was in high school. I was in high school right when the sort of the transition, after the 70s with disco and dance music became like popular music, right? And then
Right, like we would know.
and then in the 80s, what happened is that club music became like hip hop became club music, and club music became popular music, and so everything was MC Hammer and all that kind of stuff. I retreated to the country music television network, like on cable, when I was in high school, because that was the only place where I could find people actually playing instruments.
Yeah.
That were playing stuff that I wanted to listen to. Like there was always like hair bands and stuff, but I wasn't interested in that. So I wanted good songs.
You couldn't touch that.
I couldn't. You know what? What exactly is it that you can't touch? And then
I'll show you later.
And then and then what was the other one? What was the other?
I don't know.
What was the other one? How legit is too legit to quit? Like just how legit is it?
Nobody knows.
Yeah, right.
That was the mysteries of 80s songwriting.
Yeah.
90s songwriting.
Yeah, so I just retreated into country music stuff. And what's weird is I'm not a country music fan at all. Like I know a lot of the classic stuff just because, but like I'm not a country music fan. So it's like for me it's about using the various like Spotify's and stuff like that to find the kind of music that I'm looking for, because it ain't on the radio.
What about you two?
For me, it's the simpler the better. And every day that
Like John
evolves.
Denver simple?
No, I mean like
That's just way complicated.
I'm talking like as a musician, you start out and you play your Mozart and you play your Bach and you learn your.
You start out with Mozart?
Well, yeah, I did, because I grew up before iPads and stuff, before theory. You had to learn how to play
You
technique
start out
stuff,
with
right?
you start out with Bach on the piano.
So you're like doing Mozart and Bach and Chopin and you're Beethoven and you realize this ain't getting the girls. And
Yet.
so
Yet.
you're like, oh, Billy Joel, Elton John. Once you learn music theory, then it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's just chord structure. I get that, and so you do that. And so for me, then it was like, okay, now get really proficient and put all those little Elton John licks in there and make it flourish and whatever. But as I've gotten older, and since I've been playing with Scott and Carrie and Ryan Hawthorne, where I've really evolved is like the less the better. It's just simplify it, leave space for a beautiful voice like Carrie's or for a brilliant solo like Ryan's But like every time I play now, I try to play less and less and less to where I'm working myself out of a job. There's tracks we've recorded where I'm 2 fingers on an organ, just holding it the whole time.
Yeah, but have you seen the
name
guy do karaoke tequila?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that
Less
guy's
is-
amazing.
less
It's
is
so
more,
brilliant.
right?
Less is more.
No, and Ryan Hawthorne calls it reverence, and I love playing those songs where it's just like space is another member of the band. Like let that guy take as much.
No, but that's
as he
like good
wants,
writing
you know?
too, right,
Yeah.
Scott?
Yeah.
Like less is more. So
Oh,
you've
absolutely.
got it.
Yeah. It's like Ryan. Every time Ryan plays with us, he's just like, "Oh my God, there's so much space.
Yeah.
There's just so much space."
So that's how I've
Good
evolved.
stuff.
Is like
Yeah, yeah.
simplifying and making
That's
more
why it's here.
space. And so now I'll throw to Carrie. How have you changed in your 18-month career as a musician?
Like
18 months?
I'm kidding.
That's longer than I thought
That's
it
if
was.
you count up all the time she's played, not in the time she's taken
since
off.
when am I a musician? That's the real question. I just show up and sing. I don't really play that much.
Just show up and sing. I'm not a musician.
Nah.
So what do you used to listen to? What do you listen to now?
Oh, weird stuff. I like weird.
She does.
The weirder, the better.
But you throw really cool stuff to us.
Yeah.
though. Like
If it's normal, I'll show it to them. But for the most part, I like some weird stuff.
did I turn you onto the poop song guy?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Did you like that?
I did.
Wait, can we just highlight that spot right there? Did I turn you on to the poop song guy?
This dude's got like 10,000 songs on Spotify.
I used to
Yeah.
write poo poetry. I think that I should send it to him, and maybe
There was a
He would like it.
There was a on the media or Radio Lab episode about this guy. Like he's got like 10,000 songs on Spotify. He writes them in like 5 minutes. Like, and so the whole song will be like poop, 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 and it's just like, but he figured out that the only way to make money streaming music is is volume. And
but
so,
is 10,000 songs meant to be listened to, or is that like just a diary
No,
for
You just
him?
gotta click on it once.
yeah, you click on it
really.
once and you get your 0.0009 cents.
Wait, no, it doesn't have to stream for like 10 seconds or something?
Like that, yeah. But
Okay.
with a song that's just going poop, 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 poop,
You
poop,
get 10
poop,
seconds out of
you get
anybody
10
doing
seconds
that.
out of that.
You'd listen for 10 seconds.
But no, Carrie turns us. You've turned it, like just coming back from a gig the other night. You were
Oh
turning
yeah,
us on
we
a couple of
listen to
things.
the LP and stuff.
Yeah.
She's really good.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love LP.
Yes,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, she
Yeah, it
is
was great.
amazing. Yeah.
That's where that
She
Billy-
does a cover that she was pretty famous for. What cover song? What did she cover? I thought it was a Beyonce. I think she covered Beyonce. Nobody covers Beyonce.
No.
Right.
And she covers Beyonce.
We should
It's an
cover some
amazing
Beyonce.
song.
Should.
And then her Into the Wild song is pretty good too, if you're familiar with that. But
Well,
yeah,
that's how that-
LP's great.
That's how that Billie Eilish song came around that we did.
Right.
Was Scott and I I'd never heard of
No,
her.
I posted Josh
Somebody
Turner.
doing it,
I
yeah.
posted Josh Turner
but,
doing it.
But I'd never even heard a lick of that song.
Yeah.
And Carrie came in and started playing it on the ukulele. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And so I don't know why I went to like little gypsy place. I'm like, and I looked at Carrie and I said, is this how this is supposed to sound? She's like, oh, exactly.
Yep.
This is exactly how
Yeah.
the song is. I'm like,
There we
sweet.
go.
Look how I fell into that groove. And then Scott jumps on a banjo. And before you know it, I had this cool gypsy version of it. And then when we're done, Carrie goes, do you want to hear the real version of the song? We're like, sure. So she put it on. We're like, is that what we just recorded? Like, she brings this weird funky stuff, and then we like do this old man spin on it, and she sings it like no one's ever sung it, and it's just a cool way to make music.
And Carrie turned me on to like Frightened Rabbit a long time ago.
Love Frightened
Yeah.
Rabbit.
Yeah.
It was you and I recorded Backwards Walk a long time ago.
We should work up some more of their stuff.
We should. I'd be happy to. Yeah. Was it
I'm looking
400?
up her
I'd
cover.
love to do 400
Yeah.
Bones. I love that. That song's so dirty. I love that. It's so, like secretly dirty.
What about you, Brandon?
But
What do you listen to? What do you listen to now?
do you want to know my play? Listen, I'm actually a terrible interview. Because that's why I'm on the other end and I'm doing the interviewing, so I don't have to answer questions like this.
What's
Like,
your?
what do you like
What
to
have you been
listen
listening to?
Okay, so
Like past couple of days. What have
You
you been
make
listening to?
playlists all the
listen,
time.
I had to drive to Snowbird the last 3 days, and so I had like over an hour in the car for 3 days. So I started with Spotify's Americana playlist, and I'll listen to that, and then I'll get tired of it, and I'm like, I need something happening. So I went back to Macklemore, and one of Macklemore's As Soon As I Wake Up. Have you heard that? It's one of the. I mean, I don't know if you're picking that up at all. Let's see.
Yeah. I want to really not like Macklemore, but he seems like a legit nice
The
guy.
way this starts, this first line,
He
like,
seems like a good dude.
yeah, no, you would really like it.
Yeah, like I don't like what he does, but he seems like a nice guy.
He had a good song about a thrift store. I liked
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that's what I'm talking
So,
about.
so as soon as I wake up, in one of the first lines here, let me replay this because you got to hear what he says. We can edit this or cut this down, but listen to what this song says.
It's coming.
To be a creator, you must ask yourself in the stillest moment of your night, if it were truly denied you to create, would you die? And if your answer is yes, you have no choice. That is your choice, because there's no poor and indifferent place for an artist. That's where you are.
He's talking about artistry, yeah. And if you feel like, if you can't create, then you're gonna die. And I'm like, yeah, no, I need to create, or else I really get into dark places. And so, as soon as I wake up, and I just like. There's a, and then you mix that with he's got a song like I Don't Belong in This Club, which is pretty hilarious.
That's every club I've ever been in.
Yeah, and it's funny because he's famous, and he's like, and he's rapping about how the DJ just mentioned my name that I'm in here, a little Macklemore. Had some Kill Switch from JP, killed it.
What'd you listen to when you were
Mumford
younger?
and Sons. What did I listen to? So. I lived in Texas when I started getting into music. My mom listened to a lot of Tina Turner, Doris Day.
Oh,
She had albums from Kenny Rogers. I remember I bought her a Kenny Rogers album. Do you remember that song Electric Boogaloo or Electric? He was like a reggae singer. He had like dreads and stuff, and he's like, "We gonna rock down to
Electric Avenue, Eddie Green.
Yeah,
Eddie Green.
and then we take it high." I remember that thinking. That was the greatest song. It was my favorite song on the radio for a long time. And then there was this whole like hair band. So Van Halen, I got a Van Halen tape and a Quiet Riot tape, and then Erasure the Innocence tape.
Van Halen owes me money, just so you know.
Yeah, Shane shot a Van Halen video.
I shot a Van Halen video, never got paid by Warner Brothers for it. So yeah, I have to take every opportunity someone says Van Halen. It's very cool.
Yeah, rub it in.
Those assholes owe me money.
I just watched the behind the scenes. That they didn't have their shit together.
No.
Like they were
hot messes.
Yeah.
That is what we are.
Oh yeah.
Nowhere in between. How can we be wrong? Sail away with me to another world, and we rely on each other. From one love.
There's your
to
Kenny Rogers
another.
for you.
Where's Dolly?
Right?
Come on,
Yeah,
Dolly.
Dolly.
Yeah.
You know that song?
Okay.
Ah, disappointing. That is such a good
Carrie
song.
Myers let me down.
Where'd you live in Texas?
I lived in Carrollton, Texas, which is a subdivision in Dallas-Fort
I was
Worth
about to
area.
say that's
For how long?
Yeah, for two very short years. My mom got remarried. It was a stepdad situation.
Oh.
I remember we went there, and I was looking around, and there's no mountains. Like there's.
That's every time I go home now. I'm just like, where are the mountains?
I don't know how to. Yeah, I'm like, how do you guys know your way around? But I got into just alternative music was in the junior high thing. So my first two tapes were Razor the Innocents and UB40. Yeah, and then I went into like
It's got to be the red wine.
Cage.
wine.
Yeah. I didn't really like that song.
Goes to
But
my head.
everything else is pretty good. KJQ used to do this Unrest on the Seventh Day, if you remember
Oh, I know.
KJQ.
KJQ, absolutely.
Yeah.
The cow stickers.
And so now I think 103.7 does Unrest. It's the same DJ, I'm pretty
Really?
sure. Yeah. But he does it at like 6 p.m. or some shit. Like I think he does it pretty early.
Yeah.
Like it's not, but you used to have to stay up until 10 to listen to Unrest on the Seventh Day, and then you get the Black Flag and Pennywise and all these
wow.
bands that you wouldn't. I'm like, you don't hear on the radio, and you would hear them, and I'm like, this is the greatest music ever, and I was really addicted to the original punk movement stuff for a long time, and then just went clubbing a lot to alternate weird, like you said, the goth, all that kind of stuff. And I can listen. It's funny because I can get I won't pass up a good Taylor Swift song either.
You got a pretty broad range, I can tell. Todd, how about you? What's your music evolution?
I think a lot of mine's
Just polka.
pretty much.
No, my
Smokey the
grandma.
Bandit.
My grandma requested. This is a really sad story. Really quick before Todd, but
It's a good story.
No, it's a good story. Unfortunately, we had a death in the family, and I'm taking my 93-year-old grandma to the funeral and stuff. And I'm like, Grandma, she doesn't know what Spotify is. I'm like, but she's super sharp. I'm like, I can play anything. What do you want to hear? She's like, I want to hear polka. What's the name of that famous polka song? It's like The Girls Are Too Fat is the name of the polka song. Do you remember the name of that
The
song?
Girls Are Too Fat.
That's the name of. Where'd my phone go?
No, but it
Yes.
sounds like every polka song. I mean,
Yes, and it's like a famous polka song.
Can't believe I forgot my accordion.
What's that John Prine song? Always marry an ugly girl. They're the only kind. An ugly girl won't leave you, and if she does, you won't mind. My brother married an ugly girl. She drank from a special cup. She had a great big upper lip, but her bottom one covered it up. Ugly girls, they're the only kind. They won't ever leave you, and if they do, you won't mind. Guess you're curious what I was raised on.
All right, so
Yeah.
chapter 3.
Frank Zappa and John Prine.
Todd, how has your music taste evolved over the years?
So
Or your approach to music? I
Mine
should say.
started really similar, I think, probably to, I don't know, I didn't give too much thought to music. Christmas albums were important to me when I was young.
Star Wars
yeah.
Christmas album?
Like, not Star Wars Christmas.
You're not my father.
John Denver and the Muppets.
John Denver, the Muppets, that was big.
Yeah.
Wasn't there an arcade, like an Atari arcade Christmas album that had like the Pac-Man song on it?
I remember more along the lines of like the Chipmunks.
Yeah.
That was big.
All the novelty Christmas albums.
All of those. But I mean, that's some of the first music I remember.
Okay.
And then I remember being in the background. We were from the Midwest, and so we used to go to like Opry's and
Where
things
from?
like that. And so Kansas City,
Okay.
kind of in that area. And so
Wait, which one?
we'd go to. Okay, so we had a cabin in the Ozarks
Okay.
growing
Like
up.
for real?
Yep. And
Close to what? In Missouri or Arkansas?
in Missouri.
Where?
Missouri.
Look how he pronounces that.
No,
man.
I know
Like a,
I know Southern Missouri
like
really
a Missouri
well.
and
Yeah. Well, we're talking a long time ago.
No, I've known it from a long time ago.
Yeah. No. It'll.
Southern Missouri?
Yeah. It'll come to me. The name
West
of the
Plains?
town. No.
it was just that Bass Pro Shop in
Springfield?
Springfield, yeah.
That was the number one tourist attraction.
It's the world's largest Bass Pro
Missouri
Shop, man.
Yeah.
You believe me? Last
This
time
might
I
have
was
been before
last
that.
time
When
I
did
was in Missouri. That's where
When
I
was that
stopped.
built?
Oh, years ago. That was the very first Bass Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah, this might have been. My memories might be a little before that. But like Alabama Oak Ridge Boys.
Oh yeah.
Like that, you know?
My baby is American made.
Man, I just listened to
born
some
made.
Alabama the other day. The spend my dollar parked in a holler neath mountain moonlight. And then
I
there's
could kind of listen to it now. I
like
probably
Dixieland
could.
Delight, and there's
I could
another
too.
one. Oh my God, the geography of one of those songs has me very concerned about these guys from Alabama because like they're gonna float the river down, float the river to the Cajun Hideaway, and I'm just like, that's like 1,000 miles by river to get there to
He's
the.
very specific about his Mississippi / Alabama.
I'm just like, man, they're
Geography.
starting in a mountainy region of Alabama, but they're going to the Cajun Hideaway. And
you
I'm
need
like,
to start employing the word Mississippi everywhere you can.
Mississippi. I think that's still one of the best things.
Alabama needs to be called Mississippi.
There's
I'm trying to think
Mississippi
of
and
my-
Mississippi.
I'm trying to think of my first concert. I think my first concert was probably Beach Boys.
No, mine was the Beach Boys. Uncle Joe snuck us into.
Were you guys at the same
do you
show?
remember Park West? Do you remember Park
I
West?
remember Park.
No,
That's where I
that's
learned
what-
to ski.
Yeah, Park West was
I grew
awesome.
up about 3 miles from Park West.
Jealous.
And then one of the concerts I remember the most. I was a little bit older and really got into music a little more. So was Paul Simon's Rhythm of the Saints tour, and I was pretty obsessed with that music.
Man,
That was before the one he did in Africa.
no,
right?
that was the follow up. Rhythm
So
of the
he-
Saints was right after that.
He was touring with Black Mambazo. I
Ladysmith
remember.
Black Mambazo.
Yeah. And so I just remember that, just like, oh, this is fantastic. And so, and then I got into musicians that were mostly female for a while too. I was a big fan of like 10,000 Maniacs.
Yeah.
Oh,
And Sarah McLachlan.
My
and that
Tribe.
group. Yeah, I still love 10,000 Maniacs. I've
Wait,
been lucky
is
enough to
it,
see Natalie Merchant a handful of times.
It's a famous female singer's birthday. I think it was today or yesterday.
Story's better if you remember the name.
Yep. Nope. I know. I can see her face. I see exactly what she looks like.
But then if you were to ask, like,
Debbie Harry.
oh yeah, it
Debbie
is.
Harry.
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of
What year was she born?
Speaking of Heart of Glass, oh man, she's like
45.
Yeah, I was about to say she's
Yeah.
older than you think. You know, talking about 10,000 Maniacs, I saw them in New Orleans when I was in college, and I'd always heard that Natalie Merchant was not a nice person. Like I'd heard nothing but horror stories about her as a human being to work with, and like the guitar player took like a couple of extra bars on his guitar
Oh
solo.
yeah, you don't do
And
that.
she cut him this look. Like,
Natalie Merchant?
she cut him this because she came in, like, and he's still playing, and she cut him this look like, I'm gonna murder you. And then he walks over while he's playing his guitar solo and whispers something in her ear, and she goes, "Oh my God, happy birthday!" And he took like 2 extra bars on his guitar solo for his birthday, and she didn't even know it was his birthday. And she's been in a band with this guy for like 15 years at this point, and she doesn't know when his birthday is.
So the very first musician I ever played with that ever went anywhere and made it big was Pete Yanowitz. He was a drummer when I was in high school. We played in the same jazz band in high school. Pete Yanowitz was Natalie Merchant's drummer.
Oh wow.
He was the drummer for the Wallflowers.
Wow.
So yeah, he was the first musician I knew personally that like kind of went somewhere. Scott's got 1,000 of them around him from Mississippi, but like a kid from Salt Lake, Park City area, to know a musician that blew up, that was a big deal when Pete Yanowitz was playing drums. But he's like Pat Sansone, like you name any big Mississippi musician, he knows him. Like, oh yeah, he's my college buddy, you know. So that was a big deal for me. Though Natalie Merchant's drummer is my friend.
That's kind of a big deal. She was very big for a while.
Oh, she's great.
I remember going to the very first Lilith Fair, if you remember those Lilith Fairs. In fact, that very first Lilith Fair, we went up to Vancouver, but it was just a series of musicians, like female musicians.
Yeah.
But it was one of those where I think I got introduced that year to like, this sort of dates the time, I think was
Carrie banjo.
Jewel's first big tour and that type of stuff, you know.
Did you see Jewel just posted? Go see
Sammy.
Go see
I
Sammy
saw that.
Brew. Yeah.
She's been like, I love that she's just been sort of quietly doing her thing.
I saw her live in Salt Lake on a little it was just her,
She's supposed to be great.
and she was fantastic.
Yeah.
Have you read her poetry book?
No. Yeah.
But it's not bad. I mean,
Well,
It's worth the print.
I'm really not the right person to talk to about that because
Okay.
even though my day job, I'm an English professor, like I'm an 18th and 19th century British women's poetry specialist. So like,
Sounds hot.
I don't. Yeah, it gets
oh
all
my
the
God,
girls.
is that yeah?
That's my pickup
you
line.
lead, yeah, you lead.
That's my
with
pick,
that.
That's where I
yeah.
lead. Like
Yeah.
you know, when I'm in the club,
He lands all the ladies with
the
that
first
line.
thing I'm just like, hey, I'm an 18th and 19th
19th
century British women's poetry specialist. Yeah, it's yeah. It doesn't.
You lose them at 18th, 19th. Like they're already gone. Yeah, they're not.
This explains why I'm so bad at dating, I think.
Okay, so I'm taking
no,
over.
but-
I'm taking over. We're going to refocus just for a second here.
I had
'Cause
questions.
I
Okay.
have one
And this,
question.
well, everybody's got a chance. All right, so we're going to go around the room. We can ask one question to someone else that's in the room, right? Doesn't matter who it is.
Oh dear
Right?
Lord.
And so if we can start, we'll go and start with you, Brandon. And then if it's all right after this round, if you guys want to play us out with something, does that sound good too? Okay, so your question. Who do you have a question for?
Well, because I'm on the spot, I have no questions whatsoever.
Do you need a minute?
Yeah, I need a minute.
Okay, Carrie, do you have a question for somebody?
Yes.
Oh, Carrie's going to ask random questions. This is
Todd.
dangerous.
For me.
Will you marry me?
Is there a time frame or just eventually?
Right now.
Todd, the answer is always yes.
Shane can
Just so
marry.
you know, she was
Shane
she was
can
looking at Todd when she said that. For those of you who can't see who she was looking at,
And you should know Shane can marry you right now.
I'm a minister.
All right, yes.
Got nothing to lose.
Yeah, let's do it.
I got 2 cats.
Yeah, I have 3 cats.
Oh, look, 5 cats.
Yes.
Oh,
Under one roof.
My grandma's
man.
going to be so proud.
That was your one
My
question.
grandparents are
You
gone.
got your answer.
That's
you
it.
got your
Yeah.
answer to your question. That's
Thank
awesome.
you. That's a great question.
Yeah.
All right, my question is for Brandon. I've heard all these weird sideways stories about Todd in the past. Every time we are at an arts event or whatever and I hear him talk, he gives a weird story. I don't have that many from you. Give me some kind of sideways weird occupation you had or path you went down that none of us would really ever suspect out of you.
Yeah. Did you hear the actor one?
No.
I'm the star in an after-school special.
What?
was it about drugs?
No.
Damn it!
We don't care.
But even better, though. Even better. You're going to like this
No, I lost a leg.
one. See?
It happens.
Where was it filmed?
Salt Lake. It's called Miracles and Other Wonders. You can look it up on YouTube. It's one of the most played episodes of Miracles and Other Wonders.
Oh, my God.
How old were you at
I
the
was
time?
19. I was the lead
This
character.
is awesome.
Sorry,
Wait.
what
This is
was
an awesome
it?
Carrie,
What was
get
it
that- get
called
on
one
YouTube.
more time? Yeah, one more time.
It's called Miracles and Other Wonders.
Miracles and Other
Yep.
Wonders.
Is this the one?
It's called Ricky Saved is the episode. My character name was Ricky.
Do you have speaking lines and,
And
everything?
yeah, I
was
was
the
the
lead.
lead. I was the lead.
You were the
That doesn't mean he
lead.
spoke. That doesn't mean he
Yeah.
spoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy Connolly stars in Fido, does not say a word.
That's really funny. You think of Fido of all
I
the
love
things.
Fido.
Yeah, that's a good
So
one.
you were an actor in
Yeah, yeah. And in fact, there are times when I'm like, I probably just should have stuck with it.
Is that all you did, or did you chase
So
it after that?
me and Tone Loc did a little thing together. I actually met Tone Loc's
Were you in
girlfriend, who
Funky
was
Cole Medina?
no, but I met his girlfriend, who was a Raiders
Wait, Carrie's got it.
cheerleader.
She's got it.
You have it?
Oh, my
Is it
phone's,
pulled up?
No, my phone's going to
I'll pull it up for
I
you.
saved what it's called.
Okay.
I mean, it's not, but yeah, it was. I auditioned like crazy for a couple of years, and I finally got a part, and it was a lead, and I damn near got a part with Danny Masterson in what was supposed to be a what's the show on the beach that the swimsuits on the beach and
Baywatch.
Baywatch, supposed to be Baywatch for the Mountains. They filmed it, a pilot up at Snowbird, and
I
they
heard about
premiered
that
it
show.
after the Super Bowl.
I heard that.
Didn't really do anything, but I didn't get the
I'm
part. I was
confused.
just an
Can you
extra.
do you have any theories about why taking a show about hot people in bikinis and swim trunks would not translate to ski
Snow
outfits?
pants and down
Yeah.
jackets.
Do you have any theories about why that wouldn't have worked?
I wonder what the failed part of the premise
Yeah,
was.
can we just maybe just for a second
Dude, I didn't-
imagine what the pitch room was like for that?
It's beautiful people doing things outdoors.
Okay,
what
well,
could be the difference?
the best pitch would be like Snowbird. It was open this weekend, and so many people were in
Yeah, I know,
shorts,
I know.
and it was.
We just
yeah.
played up there 3 weeks ago, something like that,
Yeah.
and there were people skiing. Like there was a
They had fresh snow right
They had
before we
fresh
played.
snow. It snowed like 18 inches the night before, and there was a couple in a wedding dress and tuxedo skiing.
That's
You
the-
have YouTube to thank because you never had a copy of that.
no,
before
I never.
YouTube,
So
did you?
no, here's the deal. They gave me a copy, a VHS copy of it, and I lost it. So I don't ever know what happened.
Is that him in the
You
baseball
probably taped
uniform?
over it.
Is that you in the baseball
That
uniform?
I've got. Yeah, I'm the only 19-year-old in the. That's my mom. My fake mom.
Now,
last
what
name.
is this?
Yeah.
What is this? What is this for? Like-
So it's an after-school special called Miracles and Other Wonders.
On what network?
Yeah, but what network?
Well, they
ABC? He
I,
did all the
I don't
after-school
know. I had cousins in Virginia call me and I'm pretty sure we just saw you.
Okay,
on,
that's what I was getting at. Is like, was this like a Utah?
and then they
thing,
sold
or
it
was
to
this like-
Germany. They dubbed it over in German, and
so you are also German.
So I can't walk the streets in Germany.
Right, sure.
To this
You
day.
and David
Hounded,
Hasselhoff,
man.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Me and Hasselhoff are like a thing. Yeah.
That is That is so much more than I expected from that question.
That is
That's a great story.
That
That's
is-
a miracle and
that is-
another wonder.
that is optimal right
All
there.
right,
man.
Scott, it's your turn to ask a question of anyone
I have
else in
one
the room.
question, and it's a straight up legit question because I asked Todd this question the other day.
Did I not give you an answer? or
Well,
just-
we got interrupted.
Oh, okay.
Because we were standing in the middle of student union.
Oh, got it.
And like 17 people who needed us came by. How did you guys meet?
Brandon and I?
It was a Tinder.
So I don't know if you guys have met April. April's my best friend. It's not Grindr, but it is through.
Grinder. That's a better answer. We
Just
met
go
on Grinder.
one word answer. Grinder. Next question.
Farmers only.
Yeah, do you just want to leave it at that? Like that's pretty good, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. That works. Yeah.
Brandon's sister. I dated Brandon's sister, who's now my best friend. So,
Okay.
so that's what kind of brought us together. And then I think we were pals, and then it was one of those. I think I inherited, I sort of invited myself into his family, and so his grandma's my grandma, his Uncle Joe's my Uncle Joe, like that type of thing. And so I think we were up at Grandma's house, and
I said, Todd, want to be on my radio show? I need a co-host because I needed somebody witty.
And then I was like the third pick, right? I'm glad you picked me though, because I'm your wittiest friend. I'll tell you.
So Brandon, it was your idea for the podcast?
It was. So I was working at the Weber State University outdoor program.
Okay.
And I was also a DJ at Weber State's KWCR 88.1 Weber FM, Ogden's radio station.
They have a copy of our CD.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the fuck they do with it.
I don't think
And you got the explicit warning from Brandon today.
Now Carrie already dropped an F-bomb.
Fuck.
If you DJ a year, which I DJ'd for free because I didn't get in the class because it was at the same time of another class, and so I got 0 credit for DJing for half a year. I DJ'd for free.
I think that's Banyan's business model. So it works perfect. Yeah.
I set the trend from the beginning.
Wait, there's a model?
Yes, yes, and then if you're there then you can have your own specialty show. Okay. Well, the Weber Outdoor program has a really hard time marketing. They have no marketing budget. They have a hard time getting outside of Weber's. So I'm like, well, I'm going to start a radio show that tells people what's going on in Ogden with the outdoors, and we'll try and coalesce this community a little bit around the outdoors, and we'll call it the Ogden Outdoor Adventure Show, and we'll put some segments in there like gear and news and Gear 30,
Okay. Yeah.
Gear 30,
Yeah.
Gear 30, and then
Shameless plug.
Who do you work for again?
no, that's named after the radio show.
Oh.
Yes. So that's why I say it over and over again, because from 3 to 4 was our show.
Okay.
And I came up with the name Gear 30 because at 3:30 was our gear segment. And then when they went to name their business, they had a really long name, and I said that's too long. You got to go something a little more catchy, like Gear 30 rhymes with Beer 30, and that's why they have a store in town that is now Gear 30.
Okay.
Came from the Ogden Outdoor Adventure Show.
And that was in 2010.
And we originally had multiple hosts. So Todd was the official co-host, and then we had Trippy Tressa White. Shout out to her, she's amazing. And then we had Gear Junkie James. Gear Junkie. He had a little
A jingle.
jingle. It was great.
Junkie
Yeah.
jingle.
Why does Carrie Myers not have
Yeah.
a jingle? Like how
Yeah,
have
right.
we been playing music with
You
Carrie
need a
Myers?
jingle.
You guys got
You need a jingle that's just like it's bleeped out. Like
Sorry, I suck.
No, just like Carrie fucking Myers.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is just.
Talia Keys already has that one. We can't take that one.
But no, like how did this whole podcast empire
So the
start? That's
radio.
really
So that was the
question.
radio.
I like.
We have an empire. Is that?
I don't know if you guys have seen your website, but there's a whole bunch of podcasts.
Yeah, there's a lot. So we had
We have more than most. We do
Ogden
have more
Outdoor
than most.
Adventure Show for a long time, and then I got fired from my job at Gear 30.
That seems like a whole other very interesting conversation.
Listen, we have beer. I've got all night. I was fired from my job at Gear 30, and so we had the person who's the owner of Strider's, John Wojciechowski. He's amazing. He came over to Gear 30 when I was still working there, and he's like, he saw us set up for a podcast. He's like, well, what are you guys doing over here? So we're doing a podcast. He's like, really? And can I be on? And he's like you, Todd. He just invites himself. Yeah. And then he decided, hey, can I have my own show?
Mr. Goodyear, right?
Yeah, Mr. Goodyear's Neighborhood. So he did 2 or 3 shows, and then I got fired. And he was like, well, what's y'all's plans? I'm like, well, we're gonna have to start a podcast production company and call it the Banyan Collective and do it out of our van. because that's all we got.
Yeah.
And so
For a long
that's
time,
where it
for a
started.
long time, we
Yeah.
did it out by we did a lot of episodes
Slackwater.
at Slackwater.
Slackwater.
Yeah, I saw you guys a bunch of
I think
times.
for a
set up
long
at
time we
Slackwater.
did.
I used to
there,
come
yeah.
by for those. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, especially Restaurant Week.
Yeah.
That was quite
Yeah.
the ritual.
We
yeah.
we ate well that week.
And so John had his show for a while, and then we just like over time we've always wanted a beer show, never done one. We had a fly fishing show, so we have that now. We wanted an arts podcast for a long time. Finally, we have this, the Nine Rails Arts Podcast. So yeah, it slowly builds over time, but started up at Weber State as a radio show, and then they said, hey, like kind of what you have over there, like just push record, and that records your radio show, and then you can upload it as a podcast. And this was in 2010. So that was a while ago before before Spotify jumped on the bandwagon. That's for damn sure. Yeah. So then we were uploading podcasts for a long time. Neat. Yeah.
Okay.
But we have to explain podcasts a little bit less now.
And so, how many of the shows just like come to you though? Because we've approached you with our thing.
Yeah, we told you to F off is what
Yeah, I know, right?
did. Yeah.
We fed you at Tona too. You
Can't get rid of us.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's kind of gotten to a point now though where so we're arts and adventure, right? That's kind of the idea. So it's arts and adventure podcasting since 2010. So we've sort of narrowed the focus down for that just a little bit. But then, especially when we started the Van Session show, and that was, how many years ago was that? 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
God, is it really just that?
Okay, wait.
Maybe longer. I don't know.
Trivia question: who was our first guest on Van Sessions? You can't answer. Who was the first band?
I don't even know if I know.
Band? I don't know.
You guys know? You don't remember?
Was it Wednesday People?
It was the Wednesday People.
Wednesday people.
Yeah, with only KJ. It was KJ.
Oh, I didn't realize KJ was in the Wednesday people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. KJ, they're renting a spot right across the.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
the
Right
boys
outside
were
that
talking
door.
about that.
Right
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the show, and that one's just once a month. So we're up at the Monarch now, which is a nice relationship there. But that show has probably gotten us more attention than any of these other ones. So it's helping, I think, the other shows that much.
So everything
more,
else
too.
is riding the Van Sessions coattails.
Kind of, but it's kind of funny because we
Not
do
in
that
a bad way, but
no,
like
no,
that's
no.
your.
But we do that once a month, and it's
OOA
you've
still
been
gets
to
the
them.
most downloads.
We mostly hang out.
Oh,
I mean,
I
that's the
looked
Van
at the gauge
Sessions
the other
here.
day. I think our show with Carrie is like the third most played or fourth most played. We're up there.
Yeah,
We're behind the Wednesday.
We have
people.
gotten a kind of ridiculous number of gigs from people who heard the session we did with Carrie, and then they booked us and they said, "Please bring Carrie."
Has that really happened?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, multiple times.
So that's really cool. I had an old guy, like probably 70s.
I was about to say if you're gonna say like 40s, I would be like,
50
hey,
years old, man. That guy was
70s.
ancient.
He said he came up to my booth. I was working a Gear 30 booth, and he came up to me and I said something. And he said, "Are you R. Brandon Long?" I said, "Yeah, I am." He said, "Of the podcast?" I'm like, "Yeah, I listen to you guys all the time. That's a great podcast." I said, "Thanks." He says, "You're a lot better looking in my mind."
man,
Got a voice made for
You know-
podcasting.
I love this guy so
Or a
much.
face made for
just
podcasting.
never look up your NPR radio host, man. Like don't, except like Kai Rizdal. Kai Rizdal
Wait,
looks
what
exactly
kind of
like
months
you
of training does NPR go through? Okay, we're going to now have
I know. Right? What's
Scott
it?
Rogers
The
on
sweaty
banjo.
balls. We're gonna have the sweaty
Which
balls
takes
here.
us to our next question. Todd, are you ready for your question, or should we go back to Brandon? Has he thought of one yet?
Oh no! Fuck! I was thinking of. Yeah, now I have sweaty
All
balls
right.
in my head.
Todd, it's your question, please.
All right, so I think that I'm going to ask a question to somebody who's not expecting it, but who is utterly appreciated in this room. And so, Cam, if you jump on one of
Yes.
these microphones over here. Yeah. So I'm going to introduce Cam McLeod, who I think Ogden is really getting to know on his own right. But for some reason, he's been hanging out with us a lot, which is great. He's let me hang out with him. So this is when the show begins.
He knows how
right
to
here.
start. Yeah.
This is when the show begins right
I've been
here.
watching.
All right, so I think that this is a good time. This is not just a shameful plug, but this is something specific, and I think it's a good time to maybe mention it to the audience. Plus, it's a commitment thing to mention this probably as well. So we've been working on some projects together, Cam and I. So we work with a gentleman named Jake McIntyre, and so on some city things, some Nine Rails things, and so I think it was through him we became friends. And so how about a little elevator pitch of this little project that we're working on? Are you comfortable talking about that?
Yeah.
I think enough people probably know about it now.
Which project?
The quarterly project.
Yeah, the magazine.
Yep.
The magazine we still have no name for.
Nope. It's gonna be like Carrie's.
Yeah,
you're
welcome
gonna
to the
come
club.
up with yours at the same time we come up with the name
Carrie's
for ours.
undercarriage.
Yeah. Carrie's Carrie van.
Did you say Carrie's undercarriage? Wow.
Have you thought about calling it maybe
Okay.
Ogden Let Me Down? Like that?
I
Ogden Let Me
thought
Down.
we did have like Ogden Light.
We're going for a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
So
So
now's the time
The
for the
magazine.
elevator pitch. Yep.
yeah, the elevator pitch. So
Because
I've
this
had
really
it-
started with you.
yeah. So gosh, I don't even know where to start because one, I wasn't really expecting it, and the elevator pitch is something I'm still working on.
We're supposed to have a meeting
So
about
an
an
escalator
elevator pitch
pitch.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
It's like an
pretty much.
escalator
Yeah.
pitch then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So an
exactly.
escalator.
It's meant to be a quarterly publication, bringing together the messaging from our outdoor adventure resources here in Ogden and our sort of up and coming art scene that we're really striving to cultivate here in Ogden. And between those two ideas is kind of the intersection of culture. And so it's an arts, adventure, and culture magazine. Designed to be a quarterly publication, high-end, more of an archival and a keeper's piece. And we're just trying to create something that's that pushes everybody in Ogden to sort of elevate ourselves. And I think like that's sort of, you can see that here as well, like with the Banyan Collective and Proper Way and kind of what we're doing in this room right now. I think there's just a lot of that going on within Ogden. I don't know, that people are just trying to push the boundary a little bit, and I think we want to do that in a print piece and highlight, I don't know, just what's going on in this town.
So to be intimate stories, it's going to be obviously a little bit more visual based.
Yeah. So it's a story magazine. Like, it's not meant to be.
Cam's taking his jacket off.
I got.
He's
hot
getting serious, man.
Yeah.
He's getting serious.
It was easy when I was sitting over here taking pictures. I didn't have to talk to anybody now. Yeah, so it's story based, and we're not looking to promote events that are happening in Ogden. There's plenty of people who are doing that. We're not looking to tell stories about superficial things. We want what we're talking about to sort of be timeless in a way, so that the themes are. I don't know. It could, if this magazine were to show up somewhere in Nashville or anywhere else, somebody could look at this and be Mississippi.
Not Mississippi.
Or in Mississippi.
What if there's a lot of
I think-
pictures? Would that be okay in Mississippi?
Oh, snap.
Depends on what's in the pictures.
Okay, fair enough.
But the idea is that it would resonate with somebody anywhere. So that the stories seem, I don't know, appropriate for any place in the country, but they happen to be about Ogden and what we're going through. So it's our personal journal of what's happening here that I think a lot of people could relate to. So it's human interest stories, but they all relate to, in some capacity, arts or adventure. And sometimes, and hopefully, there's a cross section there or overlap between those two things, because I think we have a lot of people in our community who are involved in both. So they could be personal stories. I want to tell stories about, why there are names up at Snow Basin that people, they ski these trails, but they have no idea why they're named that.
Like
and it
Middle
gets-
Bowl.
Yeah, like Middle Bowl or Snow King or, Rockstar Ridge or, there's all these names that people, they just show up and they just sort of
The Rockstar's about you, isn't it,
slip into
Shane?
the-
Was that the?
No, FTS comes from me.
FTS.
I tried to ski out of there one time, and I'm like, this shit. Ever since.
Wow. So
I
it's
think
like,
they've changed that on the map
I
now
think
too.
they have. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate because I loved it. When
I
it was
know.
pretty like
FTG, FTS. I don't know. There's just a lot of stories that I think are ready to be told, and some that are ready to be told again here in Ogden. So that's the idea. I do have a more refined pitch, but I wasn't expecting.
You got to
that,
wait
so.
for that.
Yeah,
on
I
the
know.
Next,
I kind
the
of
next
threw it, but I think
episode,
it'd be
yeah.
a good opportunity for that. And I think
No, it's great. I'm really excited about it. I mean, we've been working hard to dream this thing up, and we're being methodical about it. But at the same time, it's really time to make some moves. But So if anybody wants to donate any money to this project, now's a good time.
Do you need a recording studio? It sounds like
Hang on. On that note, I'm going to steal the mic and just say this really fast. So in the hat that I wear as a day job,
Yes.
marketing for Visit Ogden, right? Getting people to want to come here. Cam has approached us while I've been wearing my day job hat. And to me, the most compelling thing about this whole project is that he's capturing the beginnings of a culture. Because there's a culture in Ogden for sure. And we see it, you drop into any place, you're going to recognize 3 guys you're going to see, there's a connection and a culture building.
So it went from like a bacterial culture to like a...
Yeah, out of the bacteria has grown an actual life form of a culture.
Yeah.
it started as a culture that you don't
It was
want.
a culture. No, but what I'm saying is like, when you sit there, I shouldn't speak for all of you, I'll speak for myself. If I'm sitting there on Netflix late at night, I'll go to Amazon Prime or I'll go to Netflix or whatever, and I'll find the making of or the beginnings of. I want to see the Grateful Dead's backstory back to when they were just dirty hippies hanging out in a house in the Haight-Ashbury district before it blew up. You want to see the beginnings of something because it's fascinating, right? And that's why you watch behind the scenes footage or bloopers. It's like, I want to see how this really got made. I want to get closer to the beginning point of this. And this project that Cam's working on feels like that to me. It's like he's going to tap in. He's going to be the source 20 years from now when people start talking about, man, what the hell happened in Ogden during that period? That was really cool that whole scene blew up out of there. How did it happen? And the deepest taproot is going to be this project that Cam's working on. It's going to go all the way to the source, and you go, oh yeah, there's a document in there about where he sat in his studio at the Proper Way and the Banyan Collective guys. All those guys were together at one point. Can you believe it? Before Brandon went on to become a big actor again.
In after-school specials.
Before Todd went on
They brought him back again.
to run the Guggenheim. And before Carrie did whatever the hell
Todd.
Carrie's going to do.
Before Carrie married Todd.
Yeah, before
She's
Carrie
going
and Todd-
wherever I'm going.
Like
you
that's
can
happening.
trace it back to where Carrie and Todd hooked up that night with the proposal. But what I'm saying is this project of Cam's is it feels like that taproot. It's like someone later who researches what the hell happened in Ogden this is going to be the deepest taproot. He's the first guy that documented these people that were creating this culture that blew up into this whole scene. So I think it's cool.
Cam,
I'm
we
giving
need
you
to
the mic
bring
back.
Shane
I was just
everywhere
gonna
we
say
go.
we have our
Shane's so good at that.
we have our copywriter.
He's so
now.
freaking good at that. Like
Yeah.
that little thing that he just did right there. I'm
Little
just
pitch,
like,
man.
oh my god.
I'm a hype man.
Wait, that brings me to my question.
You're a little aroused, aren't you? Yeah.
He's always
That's my secret.
just a little bit.
That's my secret. I'm always aroused.
So you got yours?
Oh yeah, I do have my question now.
Thank you,
And-
Kim.
Yeah, and that is to pick up on that comment that you made, Scott. Shane, if you weren't marketing for Visit Ogden, which is quite possibly the greatest gig you could have here in this town, what's your dream job? What other?
18th and 19th century British literature specialist.
If I could go in,
I don't think that's it, but
if I could go into 18th and 19th century British literature, I would probably be a happy man.
It's where
until
all
my
the
dying
money
day.
is.
It's where the money is.
So much money.
You get the chicks. You get
Silicon Valley's all over me. Like it's just, oh my god.
So music.
I
is
would give
basically-
my left hand if I could just get into 18th and 19th century.
Apparently, we already asked Scott that question. Yeah.
Scott's already paid the price, man. Scott's living the dream, but he paid the price.
What did you give your left hand for? Yeah, exactly. I would give mine.
my
That's
God.
so bad. Oh, that should have been my first
I'm
question.
sorry. What would be my dream job? Honest to God, it's probably one of the jobs I have now.
I was gonna say, and how many do you know? How many people want your job?
Oh, a lot of people I think
Yeah.
would love my job. It's a fantastic job. I get to go out and create content in one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Yep.
And far too often I'm stuck behind a desk and having to write things and blogs. But like my dream day at my job right now is when I get to jump in that clown car of a Subaru that says Visit Ogden on the side of it and drive around the county and just shoot photos of the most epic places that people have ever seen.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty much the dream. If my other dream job would be to do what we're doing right here, and that's just play music. You know, the life I love is making music with my friends. That's what I'd love to do. I mean, full time would be fun. So I mean, I fantasize at night like, what if instead of this big king size bed?
Just leave it at that. Yeah.
What if
Carrie and I are both like,
Somebody crack a beer. Crack a beer.
No, but seriously, my question, my point is what if I weren't laying in this big king size bed? Would I be okay in the third bunk of a tour bus going to Sacramento to play keyboards behind Carrie Myers, looking at Scott Rogers and listening to Ryan Hawthorne? I'm like, I could be happy doing that. I mean, I know that's a weird lifestyle and it's a rough life, but it's like something I haven't checked off my bucket list. It's
So
like,
do you know,
I'd
I
love
think
to do
that's
that.
amazing, and there isn't that in podcast. There's not like a professional circuit of podcasting necessarily, because I'm like I would be
You
happy.
guys and Joe Rogan.
I
That's
would be
about
happy.
It.
Yeah, there needs to be
Mark
a reality
Maron.
show
There's like
where
three
we
guys,
can try
Mark
out.
Maron and Joe
Yeah.
Rogan, and
Yeah.
and the
And
Banyan.
the Banyan
And I
Collective.
said tour bus. I should have said Cam McLeod's Sprinter van.
So, oh God, so
We did a photo shoot with Cam a few months ago. You might have seen the photos. You guys can post them on the podcast and show what we're talking about. But Cam rented studio space, wanted to do some portraiture work, right? Because Cam's like a renowned outdoor photographer.
Yeah, we didn't mention that.
I think
Yeah.
Shane's going to downplay this story. I'm very concerned about this.
No, I'm going to tell you the truth. So,
All right.
So Cam, you'll see Cam in Black Diamond catalogs and Patagonia catalogs, and your favorite outdoor brand. Cam McLeod has probably shot the cover shot at some point, but he wanted to expand his quiver, and so he said, let's do some portraiture. And so he called up some people in this culture of Ogden, brought them in. We took the photos. We had a good time. We played some music. We left. And I saw his Sprinter van, and I'm like, oh my God, that is my dream. And I jumped inside, and Carrie and Scott thought they were being funny. It's like, haha, we're going to shut the door and lock him in, as if that would be some kind of trauma for me. I'm just standing there. I hear the door go, and I'm like, I'm just staying here all
He's
night
in there
long.
like, do you sleep in here? How does
I'm
this,
like, this
is this
is
comfortable?
awesome.
How does this work? What's this thing? He's just like, he geeks out about like, he fantasizes about a proper way sprint van.
Yeah. So see that
Like-
stack of gear by Scott? That's his fantasy. He loves to stack that stuff. My fantasy is to have a Sprinter van where we could cruise around and just roll into a town and make some music and roll back out. And I'm looking at the rig that Cam rolls in going, that's my dream life right there.
I would tour with you in a minute. Like
Oh,
for
yeah.
a minute.
Dude,
Just-
we have so much fun. You should come with us sometime.
Rip me to bits, chewing and spit, swallow your apologies. There's no use for it. I'm already gone. 6 feet and it's done. Bury what remains, but please don't mark the grave. And there's no way out. There's no inkling of doubt. There's no way that you could slip through all the ropes I tied to get you. Won't let you down. If you let me down, down. This is dead. I'm going to bed. When I resurrect the morning, if I lunch to you, I'm mourning. Let me down. Let me down. Let me down. Easy. See where you were, outlines are blurred. The space you kept is empty. There's a room where you occurred. Please let me out. Let me down. Let me down. Easy. This is dead. I'm going to bed. When I resurrect the morning, if I lunch to you, I'm mourning. Let me down. let me down, 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 let me down, 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 let me down, 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 oh, let me down, let me down, let me down easy, oh, let me down, let me down, let me down easy. Let me down, let me down, let me down easy.
Yeah, proper way. Nine Rails. It's the podcast house band. Not too shabby, huh, Todd?
We should say that like tomorrow we're gonna upload Carrie's record. Like
And that song's on it?
Yep.
That song's on
I'll
it.
play it for you.
Yeah.
Before we go.
Yeah, that was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
You're
thank you for-
absolutely amazing. Yeah.
No.
Can't top that.
Carrie is the best person that I know.
No, you're the
taking
best.
compliments.
You're the
She's
best.
so good at taking compliments. Like, just compliment her all day long. She just takes it and internalizes it.
Carrie, you got a pretty face.
You have the prettiest face I've ever seen, Shane. Good Lord.
And that's how it goes, doesn't it? Yeah.
I mean, is there a better singer in this town than Carrie? No. I don't think so.
Thank you.
Oh! We found it.
We found it. We found
Yes!
we found the soft spot.
We found the best compliment. Yeah.
Got the sauce.
Got the sauce.
So I was playing. Hey Scott, I was playing your podcast the other day in my office, and this comment from my coworker was like, "God, this is a beautiful song." I said, "Oh, it really is. It's him and his wife cleaning up the cesspool of his house."
Yeah.
What was the
Come
comment?
on, take a listen.
What was
listen
the
a little
comment
closer.
when he played the band sessions last time? Damn, I forgot you could sing.
It's the sound check. Well, there were two.
Yeah.
Like one of the sound check was,
Well, you're good.
man, I forgot you could sing. And then the second one was, damn, you're good.
I see. I know how to. You know how to take compliments, Carrie. I know how to give them.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, thank you
Scott,
for
you can
having us,
sing.
you guys.
Wait, are
One
you
last.
ending this?
Yeah, we're gonna wrap things up because it's only 2 hours into it. And so
Just getting started.
let's do
Have
a.
you not spent any time down here?
No, we're not done for the night. We'll just have to turn this off eventually. And so, one last plug. We'll go all around. What do you got to plug there, Scott?
My CD just came out. Like I just
Yeah,
got
so
it.
let's
It's
talk
in-
about that.
It's in my grubby little hand.
So where can we get these? You're gonna take them around when you play, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'll take them around when I play them. I haven't put them online yet. There was a mix up with the service I used.
What's Tupelo?
That's my
Tupelo.
hometown.
Tupelo.
Tupelo?
Tupelo.
My
Tupelo.
hometown, man.
Tupelo.
Tupelo.
Hometown of Elvis Presley, dude.
My,
I'm kidding.
my great aunt Katneen taught Elvis in the 3rd grade, man.
Kidding.
So yeah, my CD just came out. I just got it in today, and so it'll be live on all the streaming services in a couple of weeks. There was a mix up with the artwork and stuff like that, but so like that's all done and good to go.
I think it's good to maintain the solo if this proper way shit doesn't work.
Just in case it doesn't work,
Yeah,
yeah, I got a bunch of old
Yeah,
songs.
it's definitely not working.
Yeah,
It's not working at all.
This whole thing sucks.
We haven't played like we're at like 11 gigs in 14 days at this
Yeah,
point.
I'm kind of exhausted.
Yeah, so and
I'd
then
say
when-
you would like you can't force the chemistry, and if you guys just don't have it, you don't have it.
I know we just give it up, and yeah, so
So search Scott Rogers, My Kind of Town on
Yep.
all
in a
all
cou-
the stuff, all
yeah,
the streaming.
it should be out like the middle of July.
All right, what do you got, Shane?
Me, I just wrapped up playing keyboards on 3 different records, or 4 different records. No, 3 different records? Maybe 4. I can't remember. One of them is a band called The Long Years, and it's these 2 musicians out of Mississippi.
Are you going to list all these bands I've never heard
No,
of?
all these records came out within the last month. So there's 2 records by The Long Years that I'm on. I think is it 2 or just 1?
It's 2. 2
2
EPs.
records I'm on The Long Years. And then I'm on the Scott Rogers solo CD, I think,
No,
right?
uh-uh.
No, I'm not.
Nope.
Never mind. I'm not on that one. So then I'm on
No,
I'm on this
cut. You got cut.
I'm
Wow.
on this new record by Carrie Myers on a few songs as well. So then that's me, and I'll just throw to Carrie, and she can talk about whatever she wants to talk about.
Yep. Here we go.
Let me repeat that. I just wrapped up work on record by Carrie Myers. Carrie, what do you got?
Yep, it's done. We did it.
Come. Obviously,
It's fine,
self-promotion
right?
specialist Carrie
And
Myers.
this right here is Carrie's pitch for Shane's
Yep.
job, I think.
You can buy it if you want it. Not yet.
But wouldn't you like that though?
Yep.
You want people to buy it.
Sure.
Carrie,
I
how many
guess.
of the first record with you have you given away versus sold?
I think I sold 2.
How many have you given away? Because you've
Got
already asked us for
5
more.
left.
We gave you 150.
Okay, let's make a promise, Carrie, to each other. If we are getting hooked up here, I'm gonna maybe start charging for your music, and
really
we'll
hard
do the same thing.
time.
And then if you do that, then I'll agree to charge for podcasting and things I do. Yeah,
Our marriage isn't gonna work. This is
just more of the same. I just keep doing more of the same.
Oh, that's so great.
I'm enjoying the downfall. This is a fast.
We got a good run.
This is behind
but
the scenes. Yeah, the whole thing.
Man, yeah.
Hired a
This is
divorce
behind
lawyer.
the music right here.
Behind the music.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is
And
pretty
then
good.
the marriage turned sour.
Brandon,
Todd's podcasting career took off.
it
Scott,
was that moment.
You
yeah.
try reining this guy.
Yeah, I
in.
know, right?
Like,
He's
a
like a force of
superhero.
nature.
I know. I know.
I will not be silenced.
Hang on, I can
That
silence
was
you.
spoken with some real authority right there.
It's
Yeah, exactly.
Everything's fine.
You're like you just
Right?
silenced me.
I will not be silenced.
This is all fine, right?
But what's
Right?
what's true is Todd is actually the one who gets recognized the most from the Banyan Club. I don't. It was random that I get recognized by a 70-year-old dude who listens to the Ogden Outdoor Adventure Show. Everyone knows Todd at the top.
It's the same with
yeah.
Shane. It's the
Yeah.
same with Shane. Like everybody
Yeah.
knows Shane. I got recognized the other day though at picking a jelly jar, and like server comes over. Carrie's heard the story a bunch of times, but like server comes over and she's like, "Hey, you play music, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Cool, somebody knows me from like solo stuff." And she goes, "You play with Carrie Myers, don't you?" And I was like, "I do." And she goes, and she spent like 5 minutes talking about how awesome Carrie is. Of
course.
And then at the end she goes, "What do you play?" And I was just like, whatever Carrie needs. Like just whatever Carrie needs.
You know your place.
I aspire to be a utility musician.
Wow.
That's so hot. That's super inspiring. Yeah.
What do you want me to
Along
play?
with an 18th and 19th century British literature professor.
Yeah, nobody aspires to that.
You just happen upon those.
Yeah, it's just like you're just walking along and it's like, hey, I could be an 18th, 19th century person. Sure.
Brandon, what do you got?
Am I supposed to pimp something
What are you
now?
working
Yeah.
on?
What am I working on?
Yeah.
A new podcast.
Podcasting.
What are you excited about? What?
Well,
It's the Sprint van sessions.
yeah. So we did find a Studebaker for sale.
Ooh.
And the Studebaker, it's like a 1920s. It's like the first motorhome it's a Studebaker, and so Todd was like Studebaker sessions maybe.
Studio
like,
Baker, man.
Yeah, Studio Baker. No, we have.
I'm a studio baker.
Yes.
We know that.
And
You know
another
that.
cut point right there.
We don't cut
Studio
that.
Go
So
buy one. There's one right here.
I'm catching.
And just like that, we're back together again.
Yeah.
I like it.
Welcome to the next episode of the podcast.
Scott, to answer your question, I'm catching up on Van Sessions podcast because I'm behind on editing the Van Sessions podcast. We had a boatload of them at the Ogden Music Festival, of mini sessions. In fact, one Jubilee band, which was amazing, they're very excited and they keep asking about their podcast, so I got to get that one done. But stay tuned to thebanyancollective.com. Follow the Banyan Collective on Facebook and on Instagram because we're releasing. Oh, and we have a new Fans of Banyan group page on
I'm a member.
Facebook.
I'm a member.
Are they called
nice.
Fanyans?
They're called Fanyans.
Oh, why didn't you think of that? You said,
Because Carrie Myers wasn't around.
God, that's perfect.
She's not in my back pocket.
The Banyan
so
Collective.
You can call me on your
Sorry.
square.
You're like, I got this.
On your square.
my rectangle.
On your
So
square.
fans of Banyan or Fanyans, please go follow that page, and then you will never miss a podcast because I don't know how you all gain your, like, where do you hear, like, how do you know we post stuff? But groups on Facebook is actually pretty good because you will see the posts. So I'll post all the latest there. Look forward to lots of Van Sessions coming out. Leaky Waders is starting to trend well. If you're
I want to
into
be on that show. That's one I haven't been on yet.
van sessions. If you're into the fly fishing, the leaky waders one is doing pretty. Our last one we talked a lot about, and this is I don't fly fish, so it's all new information to me. I guess there's a difference between browns and German browns, or there's not a difference between browns and German browns. So they get way deep in the weeds, if you see what I'm saying, about about what
Sounds
your
like a
fish
podcast
is.
Are these
episode.
fish?
My man. Yeah.
But you know what though? I've
18th
never.
and 19th century British literature specialist.
Yeah, you can stay home. But I'm thinking that that would be a fun show. Is for any of us that are interested is to go out one afternoon.
I'd do it. Heartbeat.
But you know how to do it. I've never done it before, but it would still be fun.
Do you want to watch Scott and I try to learn?
Yes. That's a whole new podcast.
Okay.
Scott and Carrie do like
Learn to fly
unfamiliar
fish.
things
And Todd, guess what?
and drive around and bitch about
Right.
drivers.
We'll be the house band right by the angler, just playing songs around the whole time.
Actually, that's pretty awesome. I want the banjo in the background.
Yes.
I just met this gal. She works full time for Climate, but she runs her own fly fishing guide. She specializes in teaching women how to fly fish.
What's her
Scott,
name?
we're
Her
in.
name is Riley Nelson. It's like I can't remember the name
Nice.
of her fly fishing, but she wants to come on the Leaky Waders podcast. Anyway, she would be great to teach us all
fantastic,
how
yeah.
to go.
We could pair that up with my juggling podcast.
Yeah.
how to fly fish for the first time.
See, I'll be a guest on your juggling podcast. I'm absolutely down for that. We could do some sleight of hand.
Just one though. Just one.
Yeah, it's not sleight of hands. It's just sleight
Just
of
the
hand.
one.
Just the one. You don't want to overdo it.
Wait, you can juggle with one hand. What are you laughing at? You can juggle with one
Oh,
hand.
show him how it's done, Scott.
I don't have anything to juggle.
Scott, you ever thought about a career in close-up magic?
You got Tootsie Rolls.
Oh, yeah. I'm super happy that you guys are digging this Evan Williams single barrel because that stuff is so good.
Thank you for sharing.
Is this where the proper way takes us out? You didn't plug your stuff, but yeah. Take us out proper way.
Carrie's not feeling it.
What is this? Why can't I think of what it is?
Do you believe in life after love?
Oh my God.
All right, good times. Put a bow on it. That's a wrap for episode 17 of the Nine Rails Arts podcast, produced by the Banyan Collective Arts and Adventure Podcasting since 2010. Do not miss an episode of the Banyan Collective's Nine Rails Arts podcast as we explore what it means to be an adventures creative in 2019. You can hear the stories of Ogden's new Nine Rails Creative District, including those of the district's epicenter, home of artisans, designers, and creatives, which is the Monarch Building. Follow the Nine Rails Arts podcast on Facebook and also on Instagram at the number 9 for 9 Rails. And for more from the Banyan Collective, simply search The Banyan Collective on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. Weird, but this week we'll leave you with a little something from the proper way.
No matter how hard I try, you keep pushing me aside.
I'm already messed up, aren't I?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get it right back on track. Sorry, everyone. It's because Shane started it.
No matter how hard I try, you keep pushing me aside, and I can't break through. There's no talking to you. It's so sad that you're leaving. I need time to believe it. And after all is said and done, you're gonna be the lonely one. Whoa. You believe in life after love, after love, after love, after love. Can feel something inside of me say, oh, I really don't think you're strong enough. No, you believe in life after love, after love, after love, after love. Can feel something inside of me say, oh, I really don't think you're strong enough. No. Oh, no. Oh, no. I've got time to think it through. Baby, I'm too good for you. Oh, you believe in life after love, confusing inside of me. Say, oh, I really don't think you're strong enough. No, you believe in life after love, confusing inside of me. Say, oh, I really don't think you're strong enough. No. And I know that I'll get through. And I know that I could be strong. I don't need you anymore. 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 Oh, you believe in life after love, can feel something inside of me. Say, oh, I really don't think you're strong enough. No, you believe in life after love, can feel something inside of me. Say, oh, I really don't think you're strong enough. No.
Nice. Eat it, Cher.
There's your podcast name right there. Yeah.
Eat it, share.